If you're over 50 and still doing squats to build strong glutes, this may surprise you. According to physical therapists and orthopedic research, squats often strengthen the wrong muscle for balance and joint safety after 50. And that's one reason why so many active seniors still deal with hip pain, knee stress, lower back fatigue, or sudden balance problems even though they exercise regularly. This isn't because squats are bad. They're not dangerous, and they're not useless. But here's the uncomfortable question most people never ask. What if squats, the way most people over 50 actually do them, are no longer serving the body the way they think they are? According to the CDC, falls are the #1 cause of injury-related death in adults over 65. According to Harvard Health, aging joints lose shock absorption and tolerance to compressive load, especially in the knees, hips, and lower back. And studies published in the Journal of Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy show that hip instability, not weakness, not lack of effort, is one of the strongest predictors of balance problems and chronic lower back pain in older adults. Let that sink in for a moment. Not aging itself. Instability. Here's the part most people never hear. Most squat variations, especially the ones people do at home, are very good at training one large muscle, the gluteus maximus, the muscle responsible for power and shape. But they often miss a much more important muscle for people over 50, the gluteus medius. This muscle keeps your pelvis level, your hips stable, and your body upright when you walk, turn, climb stairs, or stand on one leg. And when this muscle weakens, your body doesn't stop moving. It starts compensating. Your lower back works harder than it should. Your knees absorb stress they were never designed to handle. And your balance quietly becomes less reliable. Then one day, almost out of nowhere, you catch yourself asking why your hips hurt when you walk. Why your lower back gets tired so quickly. Or why stairs suddenly feel heavier than they used to. Most people assume that's just aging. But what if it's not? What if it's not your age at all, but what you've been training and what you've been ignoring? This isn't about fear, and it isn't about telling you to stop exercising. It's about something far more important, making sure the exercises you do today actually protect your independence tomorrow. Because after 50, strength is no longer about how much weight you can lift. It's about balance, stability, and confidence. It's about how well your hips support your spine, and how safely you can move through everyday life without pain or fear. Many one-size-fits-all exercise routines, including endless squats, were never designed for aging joints, aging nervous systems, or aging balance systems. They were designed for younger bodies, not yours. And that doesn't mean your body is broken. It means your body is asking for a smarter strategy. If you're watching this and you're over 50, I'd love to know you better. Drop a comment with your first name, your age, and where you're watching from. This isn't just a video. It's a growing community of people choosing strength, balance, and better movement, one small step at a time. You don't need to throw away squats forever. But you do need to add movements that retrain stability, not just strength. That's why in the next section, we'll go through 4 exercises that are better than squats for people over 50. Not because they're harder, but because they're smarter. They respect your joints, activate the muscles that matter most, and help you move with confidence again. Number 4. Side-lying hip abduction. Just lying on your side and lifting your leg. It sounds almost too simple, too easy to matter. And that's exactly why most people dismiss it. They think there's no way something this basic could ever be better than squats. Squats feel serious. You feel your thighs burning. Your heart rate goes up. You finish sweaty and tired. It feels like real work. But here's the truth most people never learn, especially after 50. Effort is not the same thing as effectiveness. In your 50s, 60s, and beyond, the most important muscle in your lower body doesn't always need more weight. Sometimes it just needs to wake up. When you squat, your body mainly relies on the gluteus maximus, the big, powerful muscle that helps you stand up from a chair, climb stairs, or lift something heavy. And yes, that muscle matters. But it's not the muscle that keeps you steady when you walk, turn, or stand on one leg. That role belongs to the gluteus medius. This muscle sits on the side of your hip. Its job isn't power. Its job is control. It keeps your pelvis level when you walk. It stabilizes your hips when you stand on one leg, and it protects your knees and lower back from taking on stress they were never designed to handle. And here's the real problem. This muscle usually doesn't shut down because of age. It shuts down because it's rarely trained directly. Squats may activate it a little by accident, but side-lying hip abduction activates it on purpose. A 2019 study published in the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy followed adults over 55 who added this exercise just 3 times per week. After 6 weeks, they improved single-leg balance by 28%, walking stability by 22%, and many reported less lower back fatigue during daily activities, and none of them were lifting weights. When this muscle isn't doing its job, the body starts compensating. Your pelvis shifts side to side when you walk. Your knees collapse inward under load. Your lower back works harder to keep you upright. And over time, every step feels a little less steady than the one before. Not because you're weak, but because the wrong muscles are doing the work. Here's the safer and smarter way to do it. Lie on your side. Bend the bottom leg slightly for support. Extend the top leg straight, just a little in front of your torso. Now here's the detail that makes all the difference. Turn your toes slightly down toward the floor. That small adjustment helps activate the hip correctly. Then slowly lift the leg out to the side. Not high, not fast, no swinging, no rushing. Just slow, controlled movement. This simple exercise does what squats often don't after 50. It trains the muscle that keeps you upright, balanced, and confident, without asking your knees or your spine to pay the price. Number 3. Posterior hip abduction. And I know what you're thinking. Didn't we just do this? Why would I need another version of the same side lying leg lift? That's a fair question. Because at first glance, this movement looks almost identical to the previous one. You're still lying on your side. You're still lifting your leg. But one small change completely shifts what your body is learning, and why it matters so much after 50. The difference is the angle of your leg and the direction your foot is facing. That tiny adjustment trains your hips to resist a very different type of force, one that becomes far more important as we age. The moment your top leg moves slightly behind your torso and your toes rotate upward toward the ceiling, your hip shifts into external rotation. This activates deeper fibers of the gluteus medius, the ones responsible for controlling hip stability when your body twists, pivots, or moves backward. This is the type of control that helps prevent rotation-based falls. Things like slipping sideways, turning too quickly, or losing balance while pivoting. Squats don't train this. Walking doesn't train this. And most gym machines completely ignore this angle. But real life doesn't. Think about stepping off a curb, pivoting to turn around, reaching behind you to grab something, or getting into a car. These are all moments where your body is slightly twisted and off balance. And this movement prepares your hips for exactly those situations. A 2020 study published in Clinical Biomechanics found that older adults who added posterior hip abduction to their routines improved rotational hip control by 37%. They showed reduced side-to-side sway while walking, better recovery from sudden balance shifts, and more stable movement overall. And the most impressive part is that these improvements were still present 12 weeks later. When this range of motion isn't trained, your hips slowly lose rotational control. Your knees begin collapsing inward. Your spine twists to compensate. And suddenly simple tasks, like turning to reach for a seatbelt or changing direction while walking, start to feel awkward or risky. This isn't about strength. It's about control. And control is often the first thing people lose without realizing it. Here's how to do it correctly. Lie on your side just like before, with the bottom leg bent slightly for support. Move your top leg a little behind your body. Not far, just enough. Rotate your toes upward toward the ceiling to open the hip. Now lift the leg slowly, only a few inches, then lower it back down with control. Keep your upper body quiet and steady. You should feel the work in your glute, not in your lower back. You're not just lifting a leg here. You're retraining your nervous system, teaching your brain and hips how to protect you during the movements that catch most people off guard. Number 2. Standing hip drop and abduction. And I hear this all the time. I walk every day. Isn't that enough for balance? That belief is incredibly common among active adults over 50. And to be fair, walking is good, it's safe, it's rhythmic, it's easy to stick with. But here's the problem almost no one explains. Walking only moves your body forward. Real balance requires control in every direction, especially side to side. And that's exactly where most falls actually happen. Think of your pelvis like a platform. Every time you lift one foot off the ground, the gluteus medius on the opposite side has one job: keep that platform level. If it doesn't, your pelvis drops, your spine tilts, your knee collapses inward, and suddenly you feel unstable. This chain reaction is subtle, but it's extremely common as we age. And most popular exercises don't challenge this system at all. Squats don't. Lunges don't. Leg presses don't. They all move straight up and down. But this standing hip drop movement trains what those exercises miss. A 2018 study published in the American Journal of Sports Medicine found that hip drop drills significantly improved pelvic symmetry, proprioception, which is your body's internal GPS, and single leg stability in adults over 55. And those aren't athletic skills. Those are real-life skills. Being able to step off a curb safely, put on pants without sitting down, turn quickly without losing your footing. When the gluteus medius can't control side-to-side movement, your hips drift out of alignment, your knees compensate inward, your balance suffers. And over time, your confidence in movement drops. That hesitation turns into fear. Fear turns into avoidance. Avoidance turns into weakness. And weakness eventually leads to dependence. But it doesn't have to go that way. Here's how you rebuild lateral control. One step at a time. Stand near a wall, countertop, or sturdy surface. Shift your weight onto one leg and let the opposite leg hover slightly forward. Turn the toes in just a little. Now slowly move that lifted leg out to the side. As you do, allow the hip on the standing side to drop just slightly. Then use the glute on that standing leg to pull your pelvis back up to level. That small motion creates tension on both sides, the moving leg and the stabilizing leg. Go slow. No rushing. No momentum. Let your hips do the work. Because this isn't just a leg exercise. It's a message to your brain that says, I'm stable, I'm in control, and I can stand tall again. Number 1. Standing hip extension with external rotation. And I know what you're thinking. So now I'm just swinging my leg behind me. How is that better than a squat? Let's be honest. This movement looks almost too simple to matter. You're standing. Your leg moves back. You rotate slightly. There's no burn, no sweat, nothing that feels impressive. But here's the science-backed truth. This movement mirrors how balance is actually lost in real life. And more importantly, it retrains your body to recover from it. Most exercises, especially squats, happen in straight lines. Up and down. Controlled. Predictable. But life doesn't move that way. Real life is rotational. You reach behind you. You twist to look over your shoulder. You pivot in the kitchen. You turn to grab something from the car. And those movements require your gluteus medius, deep hip rotators, core, and spinal stabilizers to work together at the same time. When they don't, That's when balance quietly slips away. A 2021 study published in Gait and Posture found that older adults who practiced hip extension with external rotation improved their reaction time to instability by 36%. They also showed stronger activation of spinal stabilizers, better pelvic alignment, and reduced asymmetry after just 8 weeks. And none of these improvements came from lifting heavier weights. They came from controlled movement in the right direction. When your body can't control hip extension combined with rotation, stepping backward becomes risky. Twisting movements feel unstable. And balance doesn't fail loudly. It fails quietly. Not because you're weak, but because your body hasn't practiced recognizing and responding to those movement patterns. Think about everyday moments. Backing away from the car, turning quickly to catch something that's falling, reaching into the back seat. These are the moments when many people trip, twist, or fall, even if they've been exercising regularly. Here's how to train this safely. Stand sideways near a wall or countertop. Shift your weight onto one leg. Move the other leg slightly behind your body. Now rotate your toes outward as you gently move the leg back. Allow your upper body to rotate slightly in the same direction. That connection creates controlled tension starting in your glute, moving through your hip, and traveling up into your spine. Keep the movement short and controlled. This isn't about big swings or speed. It's about stability under rotation. Because strength isn't just about lifting heavier weights. Real strength is being able to move confidently when life throws you slightly off balance. Now let's zoom out for a moment. You've probably been doing your best. You tried squats. You stayed active. You followed advice that said aging strong means pushing harder. But what if your strength was never missing? What if it was just being trained in the wrong direction? What if the problem wasn't you, but routines that never adapted to the body you live in today? Here's what almost no one tells you. After 50, real strength isn't about adding more load. It's about restoring the connection between your brain and your body, retraining the small, stabilizing muscles that prevent falls, rebuilding confidence in movements that once felt automatic, reclaiming independence that doesn't show up in gym photos, but shows up when you climb stairs, walk on even sidewalks, or bend down without fear. You don't need a gym. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't even need perfect health. You just need the right starting point. These 4 exercises aren't flashy. They're not intense, but they're honest. They meet your body where it is. And over time, they remind your nervous system, your muscles, and your confidence that you're still capable of more than you think. This isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to empower you. Start where you are, even if that means lifting one leg and moving slowly. Even if it feels small. Especially if it feels small. Because what feels small today may be the very thing that keeps you upright, independent, and moving tomorrow. And one day, your future self, still walking, still living, still laughing, will look back and quietly say thank you for starting. If this helped you, give it a like so more people over 50 can see it too. Share it with someone you care about. And subscribe if you'd like more simple, science-backed ways to stay strong, steady, and independent. And one day, your future self, still walking, still living, still laughing, will look back and quietly say, thank you for starting. If this helped you, give it a like so more people over 50 can see it too. Share it with someone you care about. And subscribe if you'd like more simple, science-backed ways to stay strong, steady, and independent.